This is Pop Culture Confidential, and I'm Christina Yerling Biru. Doctors, chefs, teachers, and Las Vegas comedians competing against each other? No, it's not a new reality show, it's the Emmys. Nominations drop on July 8th for the 2026 TV Awards, and the race is on for the Pitt, the Bear, Hacks, and all the rest. Here to help me predict the nominees in some of the major categories is my TV-loving friend Eoin Daly, host of Shh, My Stories Are On podcast. Hello again.
Hi, thank you for having me back. Can't believe the TV season is over.
It's never over. It'll just begin again. Before we start, I want to give just some dates and Emmy facts. The shows competing for the 2026 period had their Emmy eligibility June 1st, 2025 to May 31st, 2026. So anything after that is not one of the shows. The nominations are going to be announced on July 8th. And then on September 5th and 6th, we have the Creative Arts Awards and the Governor's Gala. And then on Monday, September 14th, it's the NBC telecast. We are going to go through the drama, comedy, and limited series categories, and all the actors are part of that. The number of nominees in each category depends on the amount of submissions, so they're going to be a little bit different for each one, but we'll do that as we go through. Do you want to start with comedy?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do best comedy, which has 8 slots. Why don't you get started with your predictions for best comedy?
Yeah, so as comedies tend to do, I feel like we're going to get a lot of returning nominees. So I got to go Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, and Shrinking as sort of little returning shows. And then the other three, I would imagine I think The Comeback is finally going to get in after its third and final season. And then new series this year, I would think Margot's Got Money Troubles and sort of the last breakout series of the season, Widow's Bay, I think is going to complete the top 8 in comedy series.
Very good. I think I have pretty much exactly the same as you. I absolutely have Widow's Bay, Hacks, Shrinking. I also have The Comeback, The Bear, Abbott Elementary, and Margot's Got Money Troubles. So those are mine. So was that pretty much the same, or did I have something
Yeah,
unique?
no, that was the exact same, mate.
Same age. Do you have anything you'd passionately want to have in there?
I mean, there's a lot of HBO series this year, but I think Tim Robinson's The Chair Company, I think deserves recognition. I would have said Widow's Bay, but I think it's been received well enough in these past couple of weeks. I too am a lover of that show and hope that the critical acclaim sort of goes into nominations. But no, I think Chair Company deserves recognition. Tim Robinson is just one of the best comedians out there.
I love it too. I would have loved to seen that there. I would have also thought it was great to have Wonder Man there. Did you ever see that?
I did.
I thought
Yeah,
it
I
was
will
an
be mentioning it later on.
okay. I just thought this was an excellent and really new version of the superhero story. And I also really love I Love LA.
Yeah, there's a lot of great new comedy series this year, but also a lot of great returning shows as well. So it's quite
Yeah.
a massive year for comedy, I think.
All right, Best Actor in Comedy Series. This has 5 nominees.
Yeah, so I've got to go with, I think, again, returning nominees. I think Jason Segel, Martin Short, and Jeremy Allen White are going to make a return. And then new series contenders this year, I think Matthew Rhys for Widow's Bay, our beloved, and then Steve Carell for Rooster, which a series that I enjoyed, but seems like a very big hit for HBO.
I have one different from you here. Matthew Rhys, I
Nice.
have for Widow's Bay, of course. Jason Segel for Shrinking. I have Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building, Jeremy Allen White for The Bear, and Ethan Hawke for The Lowdown.
Oh, you've stolen my would I would want to nominate.
Oh, okay. I just think I'm hearing so much buzz. It feels like he's in an era of, yes, let's give him stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes the Emmys, when someone has Oscar buzz, obviously he got the nomination earlier this year, they're like, let's rubber stamp them, and I mean it would be certainly a deserving nomination.
Matthew Rhys, I think we could probably talking about him several places here, right? He's having quite a
Yeah,
year.
absolutely. It's a very good year in television for the Reese Russell household.
He's so good in Widow's Bay. Who else would you, if you could dream, who would you have wanted in this category besides Ethan then?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think to mention Wonder Man, I think yeah,
Yeah.
Abdul Mateen the second, previous Emmy winner for Watchmen like 6 years ago is really good. Tim Robinson is pretty incredible on the Chair Company. Those are kind of the ones that stick to mind. Also, along with Ethan Hawke, as I said, who is just one of our best actors who gets recognition, but not enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, I also have what I would have loved to see as well as Yaya, Tim Robinson, and I had Steve Carell for Rooster, who I'm sure you possibly could be right that he actually gets into the nomination. So I think Ethan Hawke is a bit of a risk, but
Hey,
what are you
we
going
love
to
it. I
do?
mean, yeah, I mean, Reservation Dogs did get that comedy series nomination all
Hmm.
those years ago, so they do like that creative team's work, and Ethan Hawke is just beloved.
He is. All right, actress in comedy series. This is also 5 slots.
Yeah, so I've got to go. I think Quinta Brunson, Jean Smart, and Lisa Kudrow, and Io Debris will be like returning nominees, and then for that fifth slot, I think the newcomer will be recent Oscar nominee Elle Fanning for Marco's Got Money Troubles.
Okay, I think I have one that's different from you. I have, of course, Jean Smart and Lisa Kudrow. I think are just that's inevitable. I hope. Quinta Brunson, Elle Fanning, but I have Kristen Bell for Nobody Wants This. People are not liking Ayo Edebiri in different film roles she's been doing, and I don't know something about the Bear. I'm wondering if the Bear is going to have as big Emmys as it's had before. We'll see after season 5, which starts in a couple weeks, or the last season, which starts in a couple weeks. But I'm not sure about this one. The one I have on my I would have loved to see it list possibly could get in, and that's Rose Byrne for Platonic.
Me too.
That
Yeah.
it could have been. I was thinking, should I put her in instead of Kristen Bell? I don't know. Maybe
Mhm.
Nobody Wants This doesn't have a huge year either, but I'd also love to
Yeah.
see Maya Rudolph in Loot, but that's not making a lot of waves, is it?
No, unfortunately, I mean, she is a previous nominee for the last season, but she was, I think, the lone nominee for the season. I mean, they do love Maya Rudolph, but to talk about Rose Byrne, I sort of want her to have the nomination just because it would complete the year. She would have received a nomination at all the sort of major acting awards. And yeah, that would be great. But unfortunately, I think Platonic is sort of a underseen show, and I can also understand Io Debris missing, but I think since she's been nominated for every season, I think she does have fans enough that I think I could see her getting in. But that fifth slot is certainly like up for grabs.
Could very well be her. Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. This is 7 slots. This was a difficult one for me. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you bet.
So I have Harrison Ford for Shrinking, Stephen Root for Widow's Bay, Bowen Yang for SNL, Ben Kingsley for Wonder Man, crazy, but anyway, Andrew Scott for The Comeback, Paul Downs for Hacks, and Nick Offerman for Margot. That's crazy, right?
Okay. I I love that. I love that. So I think we have four in common, which is
Interesting.
yeah. So we have Paul W. Downs, Harrison Ford, Nick Offerman, and Bowen Yang in common.
Okay.
Which to me they seem. I mean, I know Paul didn't get nominated last year, but with it being Hack's final season, I would be shocked
Yeah, and then
for
he
him
wrote
not to
it,
get
and
in. Yeah, but so the other three I'm going with are nominees from last year because the Emmys love to re-nominate the same people. So I'm going to go with Coleman Domingo for the Four Seasons.
good one.
Eben Moss Bacharach, two-time previous winner for The Bear, and Michael Urie for Shrinking.
They're good. They're good. I just think, Stephen Root in Widow's Bay is amazing, and he's also so beloved.
Hmm.
Every show is better with him. And the Ben Kingsley
Yeah.
and Wonder Man, I don't know. I mean, that's just a crazy pick. I just think he's so great in that. And what is he, 80 now? And I hope that this would be the Wonder Man slot so that it gets something. And Andrew Scott, just because I think he's so great.
No, I think those three choices. I mean, I love all of them. You know, I mean, Stephen Root is a previous nominee for, I think, the first, second season of Barry.
Barry, yeah.
Um, and then Andrew Scott has been nominated for a couple of things, but also not nominated for some things like Fleabag. Famously, he wasn't nominated for, which is insane thinking about all these years later.
Oh, I mean,
Um, but no, I think, and I mean, I don't. You didn't mention him, but last year's winner is possibly eligible, I think, as well. Jeff Hiller for Widow's Bay. He's
yeah,
in
he
Widow's Bay,
should
isn't he?
be. He should be, but it's such a small role in
Yeah.
this first season anyway. I hope that's what I'm hoping now that we know that there's going to be a season two, that that role is going to. I'm banking on that the Emmys this year are going to be a bit more playful and maybe these long time, the ones that we've seen, like Abbott and things like that, they feel like we've rewarded them enough and there's a lot of new interesting
Mhm.
stuff. And there's also a lot of people here that this is the last season or they're in their 80s or, there's all these different sentimental reasons that I'm banking on too. But again, I'm just going crazy here.
Yeah. No, there's so many great. I mean, to throw in someone who I wish would make it in. I mean, Shrinking already has a couple of men competing for slots, but I think Ted McGinley as everyone's favorite Derek is such an important character on the show, and if they can make room for Harrison and Michael, I would hope that he could get in because he's just as wonderful. But no, it's a really competitive year, and even trying to nail it down to 7 slots can prove impossible.
Yes. All right. What about Best Supporting Actress? Also 7 slots.
So I have Hannah Einbinder for Hacks, last year's winner. I think Janelle James and Shirley Ralph are going to return for Abbott Elementary, and Jessica Williams for Shrinking. And then the three I'm going with are, I think Meg Stelter is due for something for Hacks, especially for all the years she's put in. And then I'm going to go with Michelle Pfeiffer on Margot's Got Money Troubles. And sort of my, I guess, card pickish is just Laurie Metcalf for Big Mistakes. I mean, clearly everyone loves Laurie Metcalf. A month ago, she won the her third Tony Award, and she's all over the ballots this year.
This was hard. I have a lot in my I wish as well, but for my nominees predictions, I have Hannah Ambinder and Hacks, Michelle Pfeiffer, Margot, Widow's Bay's Kate O'Flynn, who I think is the one that, besides Reese, I think she's the one that everyone is talking about, and she has so many episodes. Jessica Williams in Shrinking. Then I have Ashley Padilla in Saturday Night Live, but she's really the breakout star. And then I have two legends where I'm banking on the sentimentality of it. I have Laurie Metcalf, like you, for Big Mistakes. But then I have Carol Burnett for Palm Royale. The one I would really have loved to see is Robbie Hoffman.
Yeah, that would be good.
But
I mean, Robbie Hoffman, yeah. I mean, they were nominated in Guest, I think
mhm,
last year for Hacks, so a step up would be great.
yeah.
Yeah, my would be I would love is Erica Alexander for The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins. I think maybe again a show that probably won't get anything this year, but I could see if it remains strong, hopefully in its second season could sort of make a dent because I think it's a great comedy show that just not enough people are watching.
All right, best guest actor in a comedy series. 6 slots.
Yes, I think we're going to get sort of the top shows sort of dominate these guest categories. So in my thinking, I think John Barenthal for The Bear is going to get in again. And then I have a bunch of shrink, and then Rob Reiner I think, is going to get a posthumous nomination for The Bear. And then Chris McDonald, previous nominee for Hacks, I think will make it back in. And then my final 3 slots, I'm going with three shrinking men in Jeff Daniels, Michael J. Fox, and Brett Goldstein.
Yep, I think we have a lot of the same here. I definitely think Rob Reiner, posthumous for The Bear. Michael J. Fox for Shrinking, Brett Goldstein, Jeff Daniels Shrinking, John Barenthal The Bear, and Christopher McDonald Hacks.
Same
Was that
list?
same? Yeah. I would have liked to see Peter Dinklage in The Lowdown. That would have been fun.
Hmm.
So possibly, possibly.
Yeah, I would love to see Brian Bowers for Wonder Man for the
Yes.
Dorman episode. I think that's a incredible one episode performance. And I mean, we're hoping for Wonder Woman to sort of show up in some way because it's a great show, and I think he would be the nomination I would want more than anything.
It's such an unusual show, and it's a show about acting, which the
Yeah,
Emmys like, and so yeah, I'm hoping.
yeah.
All right, guest actress in a comedy series.
Would you like to go?
Sure, it's six slots in this one, right?
Yeah,
I'm going so much Hacks here. Caitlin Olsen in Hacks, Sherry Jones and Leslie Bibb in Hacks for my absolute one of my favorite episodes of the year, really. Jamie Lee Curtis for The Bear and Candice Bergen for Shrinking, and then another Hacks here a second time for Laurie Metcalf.
yeah. Well, no surprise, I have the same six.
Oh, you do. You have Sherry Jones and Leslie too. I'm thinking this
Of
that
course,
four hacks, but come on.
I think they've done it before, where they've gotten
Oh yeah,
four actresses and guest actress. I think the year that Laurie Metcalf actually won for Hacks, they got four. So yeah, I mean, and they're all pretty brilliant. And you have like this category, if it's the six we have, would probably be my favorite category
I
because you have a
love it
mix
too.
of you have like Candice Bergen and Jamie Lee Curtis and Sherry Jones and Lord, like the names are just like too much to bear.
Incredible. I'm going with that too. Any more
Yeah.
legends you'd want to see in this category?
I mean, not necessarily legend, but I think Iowa Debris, for her guest stint on I Love LA
Hmm.
was pretty hilarious. And, I love Iowa Debris. I know people have their opinions, but she was pretty incredible, I thought, on her 2 episode stint on I Love LA as like a British pop star with a
I loved her
pretty
too.
ridiculous accent that was so entertaining.
All right, drama. What do you make of the dramas just before we get started in general this year?
Yeah, so it's a great mix. I mean, we obviously have our big sort of front runners that are carrying on from last year, but there are some new shows that I hope sort of make their way in.
I think there was more to choose from in comedy. This is more
Yeah,
contained, yeah. Why
no,
don't
I'd
you start
agree.
with best drama series, 8 slots.
Similar to comedy series, I'll start with returning nominees. I think The Diplomat is going to get in again. Paradise, Slow Horses, and The Pit are sort of your four returning. Well, I guess and then new series I think this year, I think A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, they love Game of Thrones, Pluribus and Task, I think are going to make stint. And then the one that I'm kind of unsure about, but sort of want to happen, I think will has been nominated previously is The Gilded Age, my beloved Gilded Age. So those are my eight.
Okay, let's see. I think I have only one that I'm doing that's not the one you're doing, which is a risk. But the Pit, Pluribus, the Diplomat, and Task, I think are a given. Slow Horses, Paradise, the Gilded Age, which I think the Gilded, I'm pretty certain about it. For my eighth, I'm going to do the Madison because I think they
Wow.
appreciate Michelle Pfeiffer. I think this is giving it to instead of giving it to Landman, they'll sort of give, this represents a whole bunch of series for Paramount Plus. I don't know, there's something about, Kurt Russell and her and yeah. I'm not saying it's my favorite, but
Yeah, I mean, hey, more recognition for Michelle Pfeiffer related things this season is something I'll not be mad about.
anyone you'd want to see there?
I think I would love industry to sort of
Me
get
too.
major recognition. While this latest season wasn't my most favorite, I think it's still compelling enough and one of the best drama series currently on television that it would deserve at least some recognition at the Emmys.
That's the one I have too.
Yeah, unfortunately for industry, there's a lot of HBO content here that
Yeah.
it sort of, I guess, is the number four pick of those HBO series.
All right, best actor in a drama series. We have 5 slots there. Go ahead.
Yeah, so our winner, Noah Wiley, and then the four other men, I think going to go.
Very true.
I think Sterling K. Brown and Gary Oldman, previous nominees, make sense. And Mark Ruffalo, I'd be shocked for him not to get in for this first season of Task. And then the fifth slot, I'm sort of not sure about, but because he was previously nominated, I'm going with Idris Elba for Hijack.
Okay, so I have the four of the same: Noah, Mark Ruffalo, Gary Oldman, Sterling K. Brown. And then I'm going to go with Billy Bob Thornton for Landman.
Oh my God, you're in Taylor Sheridan's
I
universe. I'm
know.
loving it.
They have to start bringing these in, I think, for the sake of what's making money in TV. I don't
Hmm.
know. That's what I think. And Idris Elba.
Oh my God.
I love Idris Elba. I don't like the second season of Hijack.
I love it. I mean, I really hope that this trend carries forward into our next category. But before we get to that, I
Yes.
think the one that I want is I really want Morgan Spector from The Gilded Age, who, our titled, what is it, Train Daddy, they call him. Um, I think, again, The Gilded Age's third season was its best season for me. I'm still thinking about it a year later, and I think he is just as important to the show's success as Carrie Coon is, or any of the many wonderful supporting actresses on that show.
I think so too. I think that's possible actually. Have you seen the show The Audacity? Because I haven't, I've missed that. So I'm not really, that doesn't figure as
I
much in
have
for me, but people are talking about it.
I have watched it. I think it's good. I was sort of hoping it would have a Halt and Catch Fire sort of AMC success where the first couple of episodes were fine and then it would find its footing.
Hmm.
But it was kind of not forgettable, but I just sort of watched it to the end and I wasn't necessarily the most impressed by it. But I see this potential there, and it's just a hard show when you have so many unlikable characters to sort of keep you interested when they're doing sort of something that feels like other shows before.
Right, right. I haven't seen it, but do you think it has any chances? I mean, for Billy Magnuson or
I don't think so. I don't think enough people are talking about it, and with only 5 slots, Billy isn't a. I don't think he's not a beloved. He's not as beloved as say other men in this category to sort of make his way in, I think.
Mhm. All right, let's move on to Best Actress in Drama, also five slots.
Yeah, so for me, I'm going with Kerry Russell for The Diplomat, Kerry Coon, or sorry, Gidgy Gidgy Kerry Coon for The Gilded Age. Uh,
Everyone should go see the Tonys for
and
that.
if they haven't, what are you doing with your life?
I don't know. I don't know.
And then Zendaya for Euphoria, two-time previous winner. And I've got Rhea Seehorn, sort of the new blood this year for Pluribus. I would be shocked if that didn't happen. And then for the fifth slot, I'm going with Kathy Bates for Matlock.
I have exactly the same as you. I have those five. Since, we were talking about my Taylor Sheridan streak, I was thinking if maybe Michelle Pfeiffer could be, if they really don't like Euphoria, could she
Hmm.
take Zendaya's spot? Potentially. But
Yeah, I'm.
at the moment, I still
Yeah, she'd be the one I'd want nominated. I mean, the power of Michelle Pfeiffer to make me watch a Taylor Sheridan show that I didn't
exactly.
particularly care for, other than her being incredible in it.
She's great. I hated the show from the first 10 minutes. I thought several things just in the opening were so ridiculous that it kind of lost me for being, but I mean, she's always great. So, and I know so many people that loved it.
Hmm. I mean, hey, if Michelle Pfeiffer can come in this Emmy nomination day with 2 nominations, I will never be mad because we
No,
need more Michelle Pfeiffer. Like now that Glenn Close is getting her honorary Oscar, Michelle Pfeiffer is next on the list in my opinion.
agreed, agreed. Someone else in this category that I think we could look out for is Chase Infinity in the Testaments, who also had this incredible year. And I know that people really like her performance. And I don't have her as the five, but could possibly
Hmm.
be a threat to get in there. A show that I think is kind of over in terms of Emmys, at least this year, is The Morning Show.
Let's hope so. I think I would also, I mean, we've already mentioned it, but industry, for some reason this year, is running Marissa in supporting and then Maya in lead. So I think Maya would be a great nominee for the show as Harper, one of television's most complicated characters to love.
All right, Best Supporting Actor in Drama Series.
Yeah, so again, as these categories tend to be, they seem to pick their favorite shows and nominate all those people and then find slots for other people. So I guess drama, I'm going with the Pitt guys in Patrick Ball, Sean Hennessy, and Joanne Howell. And then joining them, I think, will be previous two-time previous winner Billy Crudup for The Morning Show, um, Jack Lowden, previous nominee for Slow Horses, and then finishing out those last two slots, I'm going with newbies in Tom Pelphrey for Task, and then Carlos Manuel Vesca for Pluribus.
All right, I think I have the same except for Billy. I have Tom Pelphrey, Patrick Ball, Sean Hatosi, and Jaron Howell for the Pit. Did you have all three as well?
Yeah.
Carlos Manuel Vesca for Pluribus, and Sam Elliott for Landman. Not Billy Crudup.
Oh my God.
People are
The fact
sick
that
of the
you,
morning show, and I don't even like
I,
these shows.
I'm just cackling that you have all these Landman people, yet Michelle Pfeiffer was nowhere to be
Well,
seen.
she's seen in other places.
Oh my
That's,
God, that is so funny. I mean, I'm sick of the morning show, but I think the fact that he's a two-time previous winner and sort of the one element of the show that people still seem to love,
yeah.
I would be shocked if he didn't get in, even with this latest season of the morning show just being trash as it always is.
And I'm kind of banking that if he if he doesn't get in, it's because the morning show is blanked completely in these major
Hmm.
characters. That's and but if it you start seeing it here and there, he's definitely one of the ones that will get in. He's
Yeah,
the
let's just
major.
hope that it doesn't. Let's just hope that it makes it nowhere near the series category because we don't. We it happened once and that was far too many times.
All right. Best supporting actress in drama series, 7 slots.
Oh, seven. Oh, I thought it was
Yes.
eight.
Um,
Oh, oh, I did do seven. Sorry, I'm
okay,
counting
yeah,
wrong. I did
sorry.
do seven.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's
Um,
eight. Yeah.
so like supporting
This
actor,
was
I've
hard,
got to start
right?
with the Pitt.
This was kind
This
of
was very
hard.
hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've knowing how they love to go for again similar shows and nominate all the people. I'm going with Isa Brions for the Pit, Taylor Dearden for the Pit, Catherine Anasa for the Pit, Sapita Mofi for the Pit, and then the other three I'm going with are previous nominee Julian Nicholson for Paradise, not nominated for last season, but I'd be shocked if she wasn't this year, is Alison Janney for The Diplomat, and then the new blood is Carolyn Wydra for Pluribus.
I have exactly the same. So I have Carolyn Widder for Pluribus as well, and Allison Janney,
Hmm.
Diplomat, and yeah, and the four Pit women.
Yeah, again, this would be a pretty great lineup if nominated. I think, I mean, while people can get bored of the same show receiving like four nominations, all these women would be really deserving. I think the one that I really want is Sapita Mofi. I think if she doesn't get nominated, I will be a bit upset because
Yeah,
she
me
was
too.
such a great inclusion in the second season.
Did you notice I don't have to be more for Landman?
You know what? It makes sense that you go with the men from the Taylor Sheridan shows versus the women
Yeah,
because that's
we
that's
live
the
in a
audience that he's
misogyn.
going for.
It is. It is the audience. It is the thing.
Yeah.
Guest actor in drama series.
Oh, do you not want to do you have any women that you would like to see nominated?
I'm Fiona Dourif. I was kind of wondering if she would take one of these pit spots, and she had a good arc in that last
Hmm.
season. And then Olivia Colman in Night Manager. I
Hmm.
would love to see.
Yeah. For me, I mean, I love the Gilded Age and all the women that they have for the pit. I would equally just like to see the likes of Cynthia Nixon, Danae
Yes.
Benton, Audra McDonald, Felicia Rashad nominated for the Gilded Age. Like the Gilded Age is like a like we're spoiled for like these great theater actresses sort of popping in and just being so dramatically pleasing. So I would like to see, I think Audra McDonald of all of them is sort of the one who I'm like, I would love to see her get in.
You never know on the day if they sort of lean more towards the Gilded Age than maybe, let's say, the Diplomat or something like that. We'll see. I don't think
Hmm.
the Pit is hard to beat, I think, at the moment. And it'll take a lot of spots. But I think we'll see very quickly if they're leaning towards one show or another. All right, best
Yeah.
actor, guest actor, 6 slots.
Yeah, so I'm going with another posthumous nomination, Eric Dane for Euphoria, The Pit, Ernest Harden Jr. for The Pit, and Jeff Kober for The Pit. Last year winner for comedy supporting actor, I'm going with Jeff Hiller for The Pluribus. And then previous nominees for I'm going with Jonathan Pryce for Slow Horses, and then new blood this year in Bradley Whitford for The Diplomat.
Wow. I have the same, except for that I have Coleman Domingo for Euphoria, but I don't have Bradley Whitford. It's a good one. I'm mixed about my own choice here because just in terms of how people feel about Euphoria, how I feel about Euphoria, but I know how people feel about Coleman Domingo and his, the work that he does there and everywhere else.
No, fair enough. And I mean, he is a previous winner in this category, so you sometimes can't go wrong with people who have previous recognition in the categories they're competing in.
And for stuff I'd like to see here, as the same as you on the last one, I'd love to see a bunch of Gilded Age, Ethan Lane and Bill Camp.
Yeah, for me, the one I'd like to see is Samba Scuddy for Pluribus. He's the character, sort of another one of the living men, like the one in Vegas. I think he was
Right.
pretty great in his couple of episodes. But then also, I know I've nominated him, but I think Ernest Harden Jr. I would be so upset if he didn't get nominated as Louis in that second season of The Pit. I
Oh, he
think that
will.
was a pretty. I really want that to happen, and the fact that we both are predicting him makes me happy.
That one's one of my sure things. I'd be so surprised. All
Hmm.
right, guest actress, 6 slots.
Yeah, so I'm going with Pit women in Brittany Allen, Tal Anderson, and Aisha Harris. Um, for Pluribus, Miriam Shore, and last year's winner, Merritt Weaver for The Gilded Age, and then Shailene Woodley for Paradise.
I have exactly the same.
Oh my God, that makes me so happy.
Yep.
Aisha Harris was the one I was unsure about between her and my hope I would want to happen is Ivlev for the pit. I
Hmm.
think if this category was four women from the pit, I wouldn't be too upset because they're all brilliant, like every other actress in the pit.
There's Mary McCormick too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to choose from. There's a lot of love for Isabella Rossellini, but not so much for the beauty, which I
Hmm.
haven't seen. So
Yeah. What do you make of previous winner and leading actress drama, Elizabeth Moss, for The Testaments?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think, and just because I think it's such stiff competition.
Yeah, I mean, it would be insane if she was the sole nomination for that show. It would feel like they didn't watch the show and they just saw Elizabeth Moss in a Handmaid's related universe and was like, "Oh, we've nominated her before."
Yeah. Do you have any that you'd hope for?
I think Ivlev as sort of the Ray Kid guest star was pretty incredible. And I mean, if they're loving Kathleen and Nasa, I think her performance in the episode alongside her is pretty impactful stuff. But no, this is a also I'm very excited that the possibility of Miriam Shore getting this recognition as a fan of Younger, as a fan of her just in general. It's so exciting that she's like getting this major recognition.
And she's great in Pluribus.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to limited. Do you have anything you want to say in general?
Yeah, I unfortunately I think the limited series categories are the least compelling for me this year. I think there were good series, but there's nothing that I feel like I'm going to take with me in the like years from now. I'll be like, wasn't that something incredible?
I really liked Beef season 2.
Hmm.
Go ahead with your 5 best limited series
Yeah, so I'm
predictions.
going with Peacock's All Her Fault, Netflix's The Beast in Me, Netflix's Beef, HBO's Half Man, and then FX on Hulu's Love Story.
Okay, this one was hard for me. Definitely Love Story because that's what everyone is talking about. Definitely Beef. Definitely Half Man. Those are the ones I think people have talked so much about, and Richard Gere and all that. Then it's between The Beast in Me and All Her Faults. DTF St. Louis, I don't think so. I think I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to go with The Beast in Me and Lord of the Flies
Okay.
because I think that they can really appreciate those kids and the themes. And I've just seen a lot of campaign work for those kids and Jack Thorne. It's a
Hmm.
risk.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they loved Adolescence last year, and it's the same creative team.
Exactly. So I think we're good with both Half Man and that one. We're looking at toxic masculinity right in the
Yeah.
face.
But yeah. But speaking of masculinity, the show that I really want recognition for in any way, shape, or form is Death by Lightning. I
Hmm.
think that's one of, I mean, perhaps probably my favorite limited series of the year. And it's unfortunate that of all the Netflix properties, it's not top of the list.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed to say I haven't seen it. It's on my summer list now to catch up on it. So glad to hear that
Mm.
you love it. Then I'm even looking forward to it even more.
Oh, it's so good. And I will be, I mean, in the categories we're about to get into, I'll be mentioning it many times.
What about, which I thought it was not for me, but there was so much talk about this monster, the Ed Gain story. Do you think that that could possibly push something out?
I mean, never doubt Ryan Murphy products. I personally didn't watch the season um because I heard it was terrible and I just couldn't I didn't have it in me to put myself through that experience, but it's probably going to get recognition in other categories, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I have it in something too. I saw the first one and felt disgusted for the rest of the day. It's not for me. It's just too Ryan Murphy and just too speculative for me. I did not like it, even though I can appreciate and I think this nominating committee will see certain performances, but I don't have it
Mhm.
either and nominated for series. But moving on to Best Actor in Limited or Anthology.
So for Best Actor, I'm going with Oscar Isaac for Beef, Matthew Rhys for Beast in Me, Charlie Hunnam for Monster, the Ed Gein story, Paul Anthony Kelly for Love Story, and Jamie Bell for Half Man.
Same. I have exactly the same. And here's where Charlie Hunnam and the Monsters, I think they'll definitely nominate that performance.
Yeah, but if I were to have my way, I would love the duo of Matthew McFadyen and Michael Shannon for Death by Lightning to make it in, or yeah, Michael Shannon to make it in here. I think they're both incredible and would be much more deserving than, I'm sorry, Paul Anthony Kelly,
Oh,
who is
God, yeah.
great to look. He's a spitting image for JFK Jr., but that's
So
about where
bad.
it ends.
So bad. It's, yeah, I'd pick anyone over him. If Lord of the Flies is something that has made impact, one of the kids could be here, Winston Sawyer, but I don't have it. But I also, there's a lot of
Yeah.
talk for Jason Clarke in that Murdaugh series
Hmm.
on Hulu, possibly, but that I guess that's a long shot.
Yeah. Never doubt Jason Bateman because they love
Right.
him for Black Rabbit.
All right, Best Actress.
Yeah, so Best Actress, I'm going with Claire Danes for The Beast in Me, Carey Mulligan for Beef, Sarah Pigeon for Love Story, Sarah Snook for All Her Fault, and then in that fifth slot, I'm going with Kerry Washington for Imperfect Women.
Interesting. All right. I have four of the same: Sarah Pigeon, Carey Mulligan, Claire Danes, and Sarah Snook. But I've been going between Sally Field for Remarkably Bright Creatures and Patricia Arquette for Murdaugh, Death in the Family, which are two talked about ones. And I ended up going with Sally Field.
I would love Sally Field to get in. We love Sally Field in this house, and she's incredible in that. The only thing that keeps me from thinking she got nominated is that the last time they nominated a performance from a television movie was Laura Dern in The Tale 7 years ago. I mean, I would absolutely love to see it. And I mean, I've not watched Imperfect Women, but I went with it because Kerry Washington is sort of a beloved television
Oh,
star from Scandal and Confirmation and Little Fires Everywhere.
oh, it's a good pick. I mean, absolutely.
Mhm.
Anything else from that one you'd like to see there? Otherwise we have two more.
I think Rachel Weisz for Vladimir, the Netflix show.
Hmm.
I mean, I love Rachel Weisz. I think she was robbed of a nomination, I think 3 years ago for Dead Ringers. So it would be nice for her to receive a nomination, but unfortunately, her Netflix show, like, if you think Death by Lightning is like number four in Netflix, it's probably like Vladimir is probably like number eight in sort of the shows that they care about.
Did you see anything of it?
I loved it. I thought she was pretty great on it, and that's why I would want her nominated because I actually genuinely liked her. And I mean, unfortunately, this category is not the most compelling. Like, there's like the names that we mentioned are sort of my favorites of the year, that there's not many outside of these like top five that I particularly like love more, which is crazy to think when there's usually like, so many choices.
All right, best supporting actor, limited or anthology.
Yeah, so I'm going with, is it six nominees?
Six, yeah.
So I'm going with Charles Melton for Beef, Alessandro Nivola for Love Story, the two supporting men from DTF Louis in Jason Bateman and David Harbour, uh, Richard Gadd for Half Man, and then sort of the pick that could see happening, but I really want to happen is Nick Offerman for Death by Lightning.
I have Nick Offerman in another one. So I have the same as you, and I'm taking a risk here and going with a small but great performance in Song Kang Ho in Beef.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, it's because I was thinking also, I haven't seen Black Rabbit, but a lot of people, there's of course Troy Kotsur.
No, I look forward to when you watch Death by Lightning because I think if I had my way, I would half this category would just be men from that show. I think Nick Offerman is great, Shea Whigham is incredible, Bradley Whitford is incredible. So if I had my dream world, all three of them would
They'd be in
easily be
there.
nominated.
Can't wait to
Yeah,
see it.
it's such a good show.
All right, and finally, for the categories we've chosen to predict today is Best Supporting Actress in Limited and Anthology. Go with your last six here.
So the six I'm going with are Kaylee Spaney and Yejun Young for Beef. Uh, for I'm going with Laurie Metcalf for Monster, the Ed Gein story. The third mention I have for her today. Wouldn't be the first time she's done that. And then the final three I'm going with are love story women in Grace Gummer, Naomi Watts, and Constance Zimmer.
Naomi Watts, I just can't stand her in Love Story, and I love Naomi Watts. But yeah, I think it's going to be her. I am changing one of yours, and that is because lots of people are talking about the beloved Linda Cardellini from DTF St. Louis, which I'm taking instead of Grace Gummer in Love Story.
You don't think Grace Gummer's going to get
I don't
nominated?
know. I don't.
Of the love story women, she's the most confident I'm in
Yeah.
because she has that incredible emotional moment in the finale that like reminded me of her mother.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's pushing it for this series. Well,
Yeah,
she's great, but I don't know if I'd go Meryl territory for in Love Story. But yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think Linda Cardellini. Lots of people are talking about that performance in
yeah,
DTF St. Louis, and she's definitely someone that has a lot of nostalgia around her and a lot of love in the industry. I
yeah.
think Grace Gummer, we've just seen the start of an incredible career. I mean, just you wait.
Hmm. Yeah.
She's great, but yeah, again, a risk. I'm not saying I'm right,
Hmm.
but
No, I mean, hey, if they're going to submit all these DTF St. Louis people and supporting, because sure, why not? I guess Linda Cardellini I mean, if she was pushed lead as she should have been, she would have easily been the fifth nominee in that category for me. Linda Cardellini would, but
yeah.
I can totally understand that. If I were to kick out any of my six for Linda, I think it would be Constance Zimmer,
Hmm.
only because sometimes with shows when someone has like a standout moment at the end of the season, as opposed to the beginning of the season, you can kind of tell voters have watched the whole season versus the first couple of episodes. And Constance Zimmer really comes into it in that finale more than anything.
You were talking so highly of Death by Lightning, Betty Gilpin.
Oh, talk about a person in a finale that has an impactful moment, Betty Gilpin. And I mean,
Oh,
we didn't speak about her in the guest actress in a comedy series, but for Widow's Bay would be a wonderful nominee. All the
fantastic.
nominations for Betty Gilpin, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, she's in Hal and Harper too. Be wonderful if she got at least one nomination for all her work in this year for
Yeah.
one of the shows. I know you have to go now, so this is we have to meet up again after and just go through how wrong I was with all my risky picks.
Mhm.
I hope you'll come back to talk predictions before the when we have the nominations and talk about
Mhm.
how we did and predict ahead of September.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on. It was great talking about all these categories that hopefully a mixture of the two of us is right because Widow's Bay, Death by Lightning, The Pit, Hacks, all these incredible shows that we love. Let's hope they get recognition.
And tell everyone where they can read your stuff and follow you and all that.
Yeah, so you can find me across all social medias at Owen Daly, talking about film and television. I'm a co-host of My Stories Are On, talking about reality shows and television from the season. I'm a reviewer for the Screener Squad at One of Us, I've talked about many of these shows like DTF and Love Story. And yeah, just you can find me posting videos every day. I think as we're now in July, I am going through the filmography of Barbara Stanwyck, so follow along for that.
Oh, lovely. And you can, of course, follow Pop Culture Confidential wherever you get your podcasts and myself across social media at Christina Biro on X and Instagram and all that. And let us know your picks, and we'll be back to predict come September. Thank you so much. See you next time.